Welcome, sports fans from coast to coast to coast, and happy Canada Day. We are so lucky to call this beautiful country home and thrilled that you are joining us here at the Edmonton Expo Centre for this Alberta showdown between the Edmonton Stingers and the Calgary Surge. Well, I'm Sarah Ryan, and the Surge have had quite a bit of time to rest and recover. They have not played since June 20th. The Stingers, meanwhile, are in the middle of a packed schedule, and they are riding high after a big target time comeback win on Wednesday. For some analysis on this game, let's toss it over to Grayson Knudsen and Kira Lyons.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Happy Canada Day, everyone, and to you, Kira, as well, as we get ready for this one. It's an all-Alberta showdown. Super fun when these two teams get together. Edmonton won the earlier contest between these two teams, which they played in Red Deer, as we'll take a look at some of the matchup stats between these two teams for this game.
Yeah, a pretty different Surge team,
yes,
since the last time that they met. So I think that that's going to play a big part in this. But yeah, go ahead.
3-point percentage, a slight edge to Edmonton. Meanwhile, it's free throws and a slight field goal percentage. Sorry, free throws for Calgary, field goals for Edmonton. Rebounds, pretty even. Edmonton a slight edge. It's 1-11 for Calgary. It's a position that they're not used to being in, whereas Edmonton 5-7, a couple wins in a row. They're going to make a push for the playoffs here.
Yeah, and I think this matchup is always super exciting, and obviously scheduling it on Canada Day makes it that much more exciting. It's an absolutely packed house. The energy is always really competitive. These teams always get up to play each other, and the styles are really fun to watch. You can expect that it's going to be a fast-paced game, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Sarah mentioned it's been a while since the Surge had played a 93-88 loss against Montreal on June 20th. How about the last game? The Stingers played that 105-103 win over Saskatoon this past Sunday, which included that 12-point comeback in target score time.
Yeah, and like 2 games back to back, able to take on the Mamba and come out with 2 wins, something that the Stingers really needed. They've been struggling in the win column, so they're starting to find their footing, their confidence a little bit, where, you know, Surge, a little bit different look, new coach, a bunch of new imports, so it'll be interesting to see kind of how their rhythm and communication and just how they gel and how they're able to figure that out a little bit later in the season.
Looks like Stingers coach Jordan Baker has found our Sarah Ryan. Sarah, over to you.
All right, thank you, Grayson, Kira. Coach, just talk to me a little bit about that huge come-from-behind win on Wednesday. I imagine you're riding high. How do you carry that over into today?
Yeah, I mean, lots of stuff we need to improve on from that win. I mean, the one thing I did like was the resilience and guys, you know, playing hard for each other until the last buzzer. So, you know, hopefully we get a little bit of a better start tonight and are able to carry that through.
Yeah, talk to me about that early start. The Surge have had a lot of days off here. I imagine you're going to want to try and take advantage of that, you know, maybe rusty leg right away.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a lot of new faces in the building versus when we saw them in Red Deer. So for us, we're trying to, you know, set the tone, make them have to adjust to our style of play versus, you know, letting them get comfortable in the first handful of minutes.
One of the things we often see when a team is sitting lower in the standings like the Surge is maybe, you know, underestimating the opponent. I imagine you've talked to your players about that.
Yeah, I mean, we know that every game is important, especially these Western Conference contests where you can, you know, have a full game swing. So we're excited about the opportunity to play in front of a packed house, and hopefully guys respond.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Coach. Good luck. We'll take it back to you, Grayson, Kira.
Thank you so much, Sarah Ryan. We have Kira's keys and the starting lineups in the opening tip-off coming up in just a few seconds. You are watching CEBL Basketball Live on CBC Gem, CEBL YouTube, right here. We'll be back in Edmonton in a moment. Welcome back to Edmonton, everyone. We're here at the Expo Center getting ready for this one between the Stingers and the Calgary Surge. First up, Kira, you've identified some keys for tonight's game, presented by CDIC. First, for the visitors, the Calgary Surge.
Yeah, I think the style of play that the Surge, when they're at their best, is they are playing really intense defense. They're getting out in transition, they're running, they're pushing the pace, using their length and athleticism to their advantage. So really playing good, hard defense and getting offense through their defense. Making sure that the Stingers aren't getting anything uncontested. So making sure that their rotations are on point, that they're talking to each other, and everything that they take is, you know, ball has to move a few again, athleticism, length to their advantage. And then communication. It's such a new team. There are so many new pieces. They need to find a way to trust each other and find a way to gel. And the best way to do that quickly is to talk to each other, especially on the floor.
Absolutely. And now for the home Stingers, Kira, their keys presented by CDIC.
And it might shock you, but that first one is transition defense. Making sure that they are not allowing the Surge to get out and run. I mean, they got to take care of the basketball to be able to do that, but getting up, slowing down their pace, not allowing them to find that momentum and that rhythm in transition. They also need to come out and punch first. The Stingers have had a hard time this year in starting games a little bit slower, taking their time and feeling teams out, and then having to climb back from a deficit in that second half. Against Saskatoon, they were much better, and so making sure that they're dictating this game and then share the basketball. It's got to move. They got to make sure that it's not one-on-one, that they are hunting for that best shot and just using, that style of play that they're known for.
Let's take a look now at the starting lineups as we're just a moment or so away from the tip-off here at the Hive, the Expo Center. Officially, it's the Play Alberta Court at the Expo Center, but we call it the Hive. Rugsy Miller-Moore in the backcourt with Cheney. Then you got Matthew Kamba, Marlon Johnson, and Javante Brown rounding out the starting five for the Surge. Meanwhile, Trey King and Emmanuel Bandamel with Nick Hornsby and Scotty Lindsay. Mason Boursier, congratulations. 100 games played, regular season and playoffs for Boursier. He was honored pregame here with his wife and his young kid, Phoenix. It was a pretty cool moment here. Let's go now to our players of the game to watch. Kira, you have outlined Marlon Johnson Jr. for the visiting Surge.
Yeah, I picked Marlon because he a new addition, obviously not a new addition to the league, but a new addition this season. He's a veteran. He is incredibly long, incredibly athletic, a bit of a tough matchup for like anybody in the league, but the Stingers don't have a ton of size. And I think he's just incredibly impactful. He's been playing the top of the press. He can do everything. He can pass, he can shoot, he can get to the rim, he can play good defense. So I think that if he has a good game, the Surge will have a really good chance.
Now for the Stingers, Baz Davis Jr. is the player you highlight. He was brilliant in that target score time win on Sunday, and he had the winning bucket too.
Yeah, which is kind of why I picked him. He's been finding his confidence, and he's such a high-energy player. He plays with good pace. He is a momentum swinger, and I think the fact that he is, finding his footing and figuring out how to fit in with their systems, he's really exciting, and I love watching his confidence grow. And I think because of his ability to impact the energy and the momentum, and also his athleticism, he's going to be a big piece for the Stingers today. Absolutely
a ball of energy is that young man, Baz Davis Jr. There's a look at the stats comparison. Almost 50% on his field goals is Baz. Marlon Johnson gets a few more rebounds than Mr. Davis Jr. does, as the players get ready to take the floor here. Looking interested to see this matchup between those two players. Tip-off is presented by Spalding. That is the official game ball of the Canadian Elite Basketball League. Our officials, the crew chief is Tanner Servo, umpires Karen Lasuk and Rayan Kanish and Sarah Ryan. Later in the program, we'll have more on Karen, who has been honored here at the Expo Center pregame. She'll tell us more about that later on in the show. It is the Stingers in the home whites, the Surge in those black that fade to red and then back to black at the bottom. It's a Canada Day Battle of Alberta here at the Hive, and the opening tip-off is controlled by the visitors. There's Johnson. It'll be Cheney doing a lot of the ball handling for Calgary, and that's who they're looking for. They go to Kamba instead. Matthew Kamba just inside the arc. A little bit strong. Johnson has the rebound. Cheney now up top. Cheney probes, kicks it into the corner. That three is good. Hitting is Kamba.
Definitely a big threat from beyond the three, Matthew Kamba. And also, I could have used this as a key for either team. You can do it every game, but the rebounding battle, you cannot allow them to get those second opportunities because they'll make you pay.
Turnover here, forced by the Surge. They play it quickly ahead. Good defense by Emmanuel Bandamel to prevent the fast break opportunity, and will still be Surge basketball.
Yeah, good play by Bandamel. Miller-Moore, not somebody you want to have the basketball in any sort of transition or downhill opportunity, so getting a hand on that early, don't let him get into it, especially this quickly in the game, very helpful.
Johnson trying to drive, he was stood up there by King. Ball loose on the floor. Well done by Nick Hornsby to move it forward. Now here's Boursier. Boursier, lots of time to just shoot from the free throw line, and he's off the mark. Rebound secured by Miller-Moore. For 20 points a game for Ruggsy Miller-Moore this season. Working the post is Javonte Brown. Did he walk? He did.
Yeah, pivot foot came up for sure on that. Karen's not going to miss that.
No, she's not. Usually she sits right beside me, so it's a little bit weird that she's not. She's out on the floor instead. Miller-Moore shouting some instructions as Bandamel picks him up. Really here, King communicating defensively. Brown up top for Cheney. 7 to shoot. Cheney across the floor, tough one to bring in for Kamba. Lets it fly anyway, well off the mark, and this ball is going to be Edmonton's.
Yeah, I like being able to hear King's voice early. That's something, I mean, Stingers have gotten better at it, and I think that's a struggle that everybody has, communicating early when you don't know each other, you haven't figured out, you know, that rhythm with one another. But it is nice when it's not just Jack coming in and using his voice and you're hearing other players.
There's King underneath, slamming it down. Little dish from Bandamel. Armani Cheney. Brown's up top. Miller-Moore trying to drive along the baseline. Boursier does a good job.
It's a tough matchup. Well done by Mason.
Little bounce pass inside to Brown. Well done. Johnson with the feed. Bandamel. 5-2 surge early on. Big block. Johnson came over, but Bandamel stuck with it and finished. Quickly, Miller-Moore. Surge pushing here. Stingers, though, get back. Pick up their defensive assignments. Cheney's 3 is off the mark. That's an air ball. Fans will let him know. Scotty Lindsay will bring the ball up the floor. Got into foul trouble in that game on Sunday and didn't make as much of an impact as he would have liked.
It's another thing the Stingers have to be wary of. King and Jack have been getting into foul trouble recently.
Oh, big time block. Coming over was Brown. How about a corner 3 here? Good! King!
So we need their bigs to be able to stay on the floor and be able to find a rhythm. It's really difficult when you're in foul trouble so consistently.
King able to stretch the floor there. Gives the Stingers the lead. This one through the hands of Brown. Edmonton trying to get out and run, but Calgary's got numbers back. Lindsay for 3. That's good! Scotty Lindsay, the trailer.
It's nice to see him hit that first one. He hasn't been the shooter that I feel like I got used to seeing last year. So it's nice that first one, get him a good in-out look. Let him see it go through early.
Cheney driving, and he lost the ball out of bounds, asking a question. We're going to get a Canadian Elite Basketball League debut here for David Joplin as he comes in for Johnson. How about 2 debuts at once? Sincere Carey is also on the floor. Carey wears 89, Joplin the number 0.
So do we have 2 teams now? Like the Stingers still have the 0-0 and a 0, and now the Surge
Yes.
also have 0-0. That is insanity to me.
Hornsby trying to find a way through Brown here. Oh, clever. Well done.
Clever. That's definitely one of the words I would use to describe Hornsby's game. Clever.
Carey gets the ball back. He's out of Pennsylvania, went to college at Kent State. That was blocked, his pass, and he's turned it over. Bandamel all the way to the hole. Emmanuel Bandamel. Strong move, and the Stingers off to a hot start, 14-5. Stuff there from Bandamel. As trying to drive now and put it on the floor, and then shoot was Joplin. He misses his first shot. Hornsby again gets it to go. Use that right hand, and a timeout's going to be taken by Calgary. It's 16-5. What a start for the Stingers here at the Hive.
I love seeing the Stingers come out and dictate, because that is exactly what I was hoping that they would do, especially with a team that has so many new faces. And we talked about Calgary, you know, getting out and run and playing in transition, but that's what the Stingers want to do, and that's what they're best at as well.
Let's go to break. You're watching CEBL Basketball Live on GEM, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Welcome back to the Expo Center. Stingers 16, Surge 5. And you know we always appreciate our officials. And just before the game got underway here in Edmonton, there was a special ceremony celebrating the dedication of Karen Lasoup. She's one of our very talented officials for this Stingers Surge matchup. Karen has been part of the CEBL's officiating team since the league's inaugural season all the way back in 2019. She's a respected leader within the basketball community and even mentors the next generation of CEBL officials as a referee coach. The league is very grateful for her commitment and expertise, so big thank you again to Karen Lasoup.
Awesome, thank you so much, Sarah. Yes, Karen does excellent work. She got to work that first ever championship game as well, which is a huge honor.
Yeah, I mean, being involved in basketball in Edmonton, Alberta, I've seen her, I think, my entire life, my entire career for sure. It's an absolute pleasure to have her around. We're so lucky, and they're very lucky to have her work this game today.
Yes, and as Sarah Ryan mentioned too, she's also mentoring the next crew of officials, as that's well done by Rugsy Miller-Moore. Got Scotty Lindsay to jump up, draws the foul. It's our first foul of the game on either team here, and it comes over 5 minutes in. Pretty clean so far between these two squads, as Miller-Moore goes to the free throw line, almost 77% on the season. Follow at CEB League on all social platforms to stay up to date on stats, storylines, and more for all 10 teams in Canada's Pro Basketball League. Miller-Moore short on that first one. It's a loud crowd here. They said the lower bowl was sold out. The upper bowl was almost sold out, probably with walk-ups. They were likely going to be a full house. And yep, it sure sounds like it here today.
Well, we've got wigs, we've got flags, we've got outfits. It's absolutely hysterical in here right now. I love it. I mean, and it makes sense. It's Canada Day. It's been raining on and off, so it's perfect to get in here. And also the Stingers are on a little bit of a run, so why not come out and watch the Battle of Alberta.
A couple wins in a row as Boursier makes his way into the front court. Oh, what a pass that is! Vandemel can't finish, but he does draw the foul. Hornsby with a clever play.
Again, clever. So clever.
Gonna have to come up with a few more words.
He's definitely one of my favorite players to watch, like his cleverness, but also just his rhythm and his pace. It opens up windows for passing and plays that are a little bit harder to anticipate if you're a defender, and I love watching it. Comes with a little bit more turnovers than maybe he would like, and maybe that Coach Baker would like, but such a gigantic piece to this team and a huge reason that they've had success over the last week.
Mackay Ashton checked in for Edmonton. He's wearing the number 2, and this is also a debut. Ashton only signed a few days ago for the Stingers, and he's back in the lineup. 18-6 Edmonton. This is Adonis Arms on the floor now. Addy Patterson's also come out for Calgary. Joplin. Kamba. Joplin. Swing it around to Arms, who lets it go for three, and that'll drop. Adonis Arms, big basket for Calgary, needed something to go down. Hornsby trying to get by Arms there. They get tangled up. A foul is committed. This is not going to be a shooting foul. With a foul on the surge. Keeps the ball with Edmonton. Baz Davis Jr. will do the inbounding. There's a touch for Ashton. Jack sets a screen for Hornsby. Hornsby, corner, Bandamel, up fake, now he takes. That's good! Here from Bandamel.
A great first quarter so far for Bandamel. Big impact.
Carey. Here's a look, driving, good defense. Edmonton coming over to help, denying Arms. Oh, it passed from Bandamel. Now Ashton for three. Good! First bucket for Ashton as a stinger. And do we have a foul underneath too? Wait and see how this gets sorted out. Count the three.
The Stingers bench was ecstatic for Ashton's first bucket.
Seem to be coming together as a team as the season continues. Let's see if we can look at that one more time here at the end. What a clever play. Straight on three. There's the little push. Patterson got called for the foul. So it will be Stingers making the bucket and getting the ball. This could be a big trip down the floor for Edmonton. Jack. Trying to back in. Jack. Strong move in the lane. Isaac Jack.
Love to see that too, because he's one of my favorites on the Stingers right now. He comes in, he does his job so well, he talks, he works hard. But one of the things he struggled a little bit is finishing around the rim. So getting that first one and through a lot of contact, mind you, love to see that went in for him.
Olu Adeladoon with a nice little fade there. Bucket for the Surge. Good ball movement from the Stingers. Ashton, another three. That one off the front rim. Rebound. Carey, skies to grab. Carey taking it all the way, handed it off. Trouble for Patterson, digs it out. A three for Joplin off the heel. Rebound gathered in by Ashton. Certainly been noticeable in his debut. Hornsby. It's off the rim. Surge control the rebound. Carey. Patterson just hands it off for Joplin. Carey's up top. Joplin pops off the screen. Oh, good finish from Carey through a couple of Stingers players. Here comes Ashton. Ashton from Worcester, Mass. Gets up. Just rimmed that one out. Rebound claimed by Arms. Minute 45 left to go in this first quarter. Stingers doubling up the Surge at the moment, 26-13. No way through for Carey. Quick check of the shot clocks. He's lots of time. Down to 5 now, though. Carey kind of got stuck. Good save, and a three is off the mark. Rebound for Arms. Arms fading. He was just grazed. I think Jack's gonna get called for the foul.
Yeah, that's too bad. Jack handled the mismatch there decently well. You could tell he was quite hesitant and was trying to use his length to deter the drive. Got the ball out, had a good contest, had a good rotation. Didn't really have a contest on that three, but at least had somebody running out to fly by. Got to get that rebound though, right? That's where the problems start to happen. You don't want to be putting them on the line to find some offensive flow, to see the basketball go in. That's how they're going to fight their way back in, is if you start fouling and let them see the basketball go through the mesh.
First one made from Arms. Pretty good free throw shooter at 85.7% on the season. And part of that, Kira, too, is just Jack's a rookie. His first time playing professionally pretty much anywhere, and you got to learn how to make that next jump up from the university ranks.
Definitely, and I think, I mean, university professional, you got to finish the play, you got to finish the possession, and you can play the best defense that you want for the entire possession, but if you give up an offensive rebound, then it just doesn't matter.
Davis Jr. faked the pass. Oh, clever little finger roll.
I don't even know how he put that in off that angle.
Nifty stop, now they go up top, and it's defended. Ashton, the free safety, gets back. Now Baz to the hole. Oh, that was gonna be nasty. What a block though in the end from Joplin. Joplin up to Carey. Carey. Come on, Jack, where'd the ball go off of last? This is gonna be Stinger ball. 47 seconds left. Checking in, Mike Nuga. Jack will come out. Wonder if we'll see a little 2-for-1 here. Cal Tire is a proud partner and tire expert of the CEBL. Shop top tire brands and have peace of mind with Cal Tire's price match guarantee. Shop and book at caltire.com. Nuga, Ashton, right back to Nuga. Ashton lets it go from deep off the front rim, battle for the rebound, winds up with Patterson. Arms will slow things down. He's looking at Patterson, wanted him to cut, he did. Patterson caught it, he's stuck now. Tate Donald all over him. Patterson, that was great. Escaped the pressure and laid it in right at the rim. Shot clock off for the final 8 seconds or so. Davis Jr. 1v1 at the moment, steps aside, that's well short. Baz Davis Jr., 28-17 is the score for the Stingers. What a great first quarter from them.
Yeah, it was really nice to see them hit some threes early as well. That's something that I feel like they've been a bit inconsistent on so far in the season. So to knock down a few early really opens up that offense for everybody else. And yeah, but you can tell that the surge, you can tell that they're new, that they haven't played a whole lot together.
And not a lot of familiarity with one another. Edmonton shot 55% from the field, 66% from three in that first quarter. Second quarter coming up as you're watching CEBL Basketball Live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Welcome back to Edmonton. The Stingers 28, Calgary Surge 17. Let's talk about one of those threes that dropped early. The Stingers, Scotty Lindsay is a very accomplished three-point shooter, rating 8th most in the league history with 167. Those three-pointers are helping him chase down 1,000 career points in the CEBL. He's averaging almost 17 points a game, and he's now just 9 points shy of hitting 1,000. If he's successful today, Lindsay would become just the 12th player in the CEBL to claim that impressive achievement.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Second quarter is underway. Stingers had an excellent first, and they'll start drawing a foul. That one is against the number 89, Sincere Carey. Here's Donald. Pass in tight. Davis Jr. stripped, but a steal by Carey. Sincere Carey to Arms, and he was fouled. Nuga's going to get called here. Quick transition, though, from Calgary.
Yeah, I don't hate that foul. Again, you don't want to let Calgary get out and run. I know that there's a lot of new faces, and it's a very different looking team than it's been earlier in the season or that we've seen in previous years, but you don't want them to get that momentum again. They are so athletic and they have pieces that can get out and run and score downhill like crazy. So at least it's not anything easy. He's got to go to the line and earn it a little bit. So I don't hate that.
Arms with a couple more free throws here. Going to stay perfect on the evening. He makes this one, and he is 4 for 4. Nuga, Donald, Nuga. Tay Donald giving some instructions.
Yeah, a little bit different look defensively here from the surge as well. Just trying to switch something up.
Donald trying to drive, got fouled. What have you noticed in the switch with the Calgary defense here to start the second quarter?
Just in that 3-2, and I've seen that in previous games. I don't think we saw that at all in the first quarter. I think they were just in a matchup man, if I'm not mistaken. So putting a little bit of length up at the top, making it a little bit more difficult, and opening up the middle and making them have to play from the inside out, especially because the Stingers aren't nearly as big and they've been shooting well. And just honestly, just a different look, just something for the offense to come down and have to problem solve something else and make them think a little bit, just to try and swing the momentum because they dug themselves a little bit of a hole here early.
Donald will go 2 for 2 at the line. Stingers are up by 11 here early days in the second quarter. Arms took that pass from Cheney. Lindsay right up in his kitchen. Arms driving against Lindsay, and he's drawn the foul. This will be a shooting foul. Lindsay's going to get called for the push.
Yeah, I'm surprised he actually didn't get called a little bit earlier on that. He did have pretty clearly both hands on him earlier, but at the same time, the Calgary coach a little upset about it, but now you're going to the line instead of just up at the top, but now you're getting to shoot too.
So we had no fouls through the first 5 minutes of quarter number 1. This is 4 fouls now in 50 seconds in quarter number 2.
Yeah, the thing about basketball is the numbers tend to balance out by the end. So if there's an anomaly in one quarter, it tends to, figure itself out by the time 40 minutes is over.
New Era is the exclusive game uniform partner of the CEBL and all 10 of its teams from coast to coast. Pick up your official replica jerseys by visiting CEBL.ca.
Yeah, in a 1-2-2 that I've seen before, and they have the length to be really disruptive. I've seen Marlin at the top of this 1-2-2 and just eat some time off the clock. Again, make the Stingers look at something different so that their offense can't flow like it had been in the first.
Donald is probing. Down to 3 to shoot. He's in a little bit of trouble. Oh, and he's drawn the foul. That's a tough one for Marlon Johnson Jr. Defended so well, Calgary, for 23 seconds. Unfortunately, a foul at the end.
Yeah, smart play by Donald. I think he knew that he wasn't going to get a shot off if he couldn't get to the rim because of the length of Johnson. So being able to lift him up and get him out of position and get himself to the line, it's a good veteran move.
Donald makes another free throw. Came into the game only shooting about 61%. Second one coming up here for Donald. That'll go to Joplin. Checks in for Adeladune.
No, I think he just high-fived Adeladune. Johnson came off on that one.
Oh, sorry.
Psyched you out.
Well, it happens. It's not the first time I've been fooled, and certainly won't be the last, as this one from Cheney. Trying to break down Donald. He's got 5, flings it back. Joplin hesitated on the 3, then drove. That's going to be a blocking foul. And Joplin Fans don't really like that one. Looks like a ball on the side here.
I'd have to see that one again if I was going to actually have an opinion on it. I don't know what I think about that one. Definitely a lot of contact, but I'm not sure. Yeah, he might have been kind of sliding in, and he wasn't in position in front of him, but he took it pretty square in the chest.
One of those bang-bang plays in real time. Joplin gets that one to go. Joplin from Brookfield, Wisconsin, went to school at Marquette. He was the 2023 Big East Sixth Man of the Year winner. Kings got the rebound on a split trip. 10-point lead for Edmonton. Donald's up top. Nuga takes the handoff from King. Nuga all the way off the glass and in. Mike Nuga.
Very nice finish against a long defender.
This one's flung across. Adeladoon open for three. Got it. Olu Adeladoon hitting from long range.
There's definitely a little bit more cohesion, it feels like, on the Surge's offensive side. Before it felt like they were forcing a lot of things, but now it's attacking, looking for the open shooter, open player, a bit more rhythm to their offense in this second quarter.
Ball tipped out of bounds, will stay at this end of the floor. Ruggsy Miller-Moore coming back in. This time, Adeladoon is off the floor. Davis Jr. to the hole, got it. Things just opened up for him and he took full advantage.
Yeah, and his left hand impresses me, that just like on that Saskatoon Mamba, that game winner off the left-hand side.
Way up high.
Yeah, it was beautiful. So you definitely tell he likes to go left.
Got away from the foul play, or away from the play foul, beg your pardon. Arms, who just got grazed in the eye. And King comes over and apologizes. King did get called for the foul. Boursier, Bandemel, Hornsby, King, and Ashton on the floor for Edmonton. They're doing the defense work against Cheney at the moment. Cheney, Patterson, Joplin, Miller-Moore, and Arms for Calgary.
But found a way to get out of that defensively. There were a few mismatches on the floor at that moment. Calgary's got to find a way to capitalize. Had a big on a guard on the outside, had a guard on a big on the inside, turned it over.
Hornsby, that's a blocking foul, count it, and one.
The finishing ability of the Stingers right now is very nice to watch.
They are certainly finishing when they're at the rim. Not only are they finding their way there, they're finding a way to score when they do get there.
Just textbook initiating contact there. Defender out of position, that's something that I work on with my team every single day, and you know, when it does happen, it's such a wonderful moment. Hornsby's so good at that, just leaning in, initiating that contact, giving himself an opportunity to not only draw the foul, but a good position to put that one in for the and one.
Arms just shouting back. Calls go both ways. He thinks it's maybe a little bit skewed in Edmonton's favor at the moment.
Which, it's 4-4, so I disagree.
Both teams have been committed 4 fouls already. 3 minutes into the second quarter, and it's pretty much bonus time from here on in. Patterson driving along the baseline, gets it to go. Nifty finish from Patterson. Bandemel, Hornsby. Ashton thought about the long three. There's a foul here, and it's going against Kamba, beg your pardon. So we've got some shots here for Nick Hornsby. Again, 5th foul of the quarter already. Hornsby's got 7 points thus far. Hornsby on the season, just shy of 70% from the line. That trip will push him a little bit closer, maybe over.
I've always thought that a good, like an 80% plus free throw percentage was such a flex, because it's just, you just get reps. You just get either you're in game and you're getting reps, which means that, you know, you can't be defended and you're getting to the line, or you're like in the gym working on it consistently so that your percentage is high. It's just, there's no substitute for it. It's just working on it.
Miller-Moore, guarded by Boursier. Miller-Moore up high, and Boursier is going to get called for the foul. So that's the 5th foul against Edmonton here in the quarter as well.
Might be a long 6
It might stretch. So, if a game does slow down, would that favor the Stingers or the Surge in this scenario, Kira?
Oh, I'm thinking just because of the sheer size of the Surge, it probably favors them. I do know that both sides like to play out and run with the pace, so I don't know that it's necessarily a huge advantage either way. I think the Surge get out and run and use their athleticism best when they're playing with pace, but so do the Stingers, and I think because the Stingers have been together.
Patterson's gonna finish. Miller-Moore missed both the free throws. Crowd went nuts, and Patterson says, shh,
yeah,
watch me dunk this in.
Celebration.
Yeah.
I do think that if the game slowed down because the Stingers have been together longer, their sets are a bit more cohesive. They know where they want to be, who's going to be successful at which spots. That could be an advantage for the Stingers at this point. The only thing would be the mismatches in the size.
Quick trigger 3, and that's good from Cheney. And he's asking for the foul. He did get clipped. And a timeout's going to be taken by head coach Jordan Baker. Stingers still up by 11, but their lead has dissipated slightly. 5:54 to go in quarter number 2. You're watching CEBL Basketball Live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus. Welcome back inside the Edmonton Expo Center. It is 41-32 for the Stingers, leading the Surge in this Canada Day Battle of Alberta. Gracie Knudsen with Kira Lyons and Sarah Ryan. Hope you're having a fantastic Canada Day. As the timeout was taken by Edmonton. Jordan Baker just wanted to slow things down there. The lead has disappeared to 9. It was obviously a little bit higher than that before. Does it feel like Calgary is maybe starting to find their footing a little bit now?
Yeah, I think in the first quarter they were taking some pretty low quality shots. Like I mentioned before, they were forcing some things, didn't really feel like they were on the same page, but it seems like in that break and in some timeouts, the coaching staff found a way to get them back, you know, a little bit more cohesion, and also they've switched up some defenses, and the Stingers offense has slowed down a little bit. They haven't been out and running and playing in transition like they did in the first quarter, so they've made some good adjustments here in the second.
Hornsby, only 3 left on the clock. That one will rattle around and drop.
Tough shot.
Very tough shot. Patterson. Miller-Moore's up top. Miller-Moore kicked it back out for Joplin. Joplin spins and flips it up. Doesn't go. Jack claims the rebound amongst the trees. Davis Jr. pushing the other way. Baz to the hole. Good defense there from Joplin. It feels like Joplin and Carey, too, who, again, making their debut, are starting to settle in, and that's certainly going to help the Surge as well.
Yeah, debut against, you know, in a pretty packed stadium on Canada Day. Like, just need to get the nerves out maybe a little bit.
Jack defends on Patterson. That one doesn't go. Davis Jr. will drive and just got a hand on the ball from Cheney, knocked it loose. It will stay at this end. Javante Brown checks back in for the surge, and David Joplin will get a breather here.
Vandemel and Davis Jr. were such a big part of the success.
Good inbounds play. What a good
finishing.
pass. Yes, Davis Jr. jack inside and one.
Yeah, something that he struggled with a little bit is, and I feel like the ones that he struggled with earlier in the season were ones that were maybe too open. He just needed some contact to go through, that's all.
Edmonton had a couple of really nice inbounds plays on Sunday. So clearly something that they've been working on in practice with Coach Baker and his staff.
Well, I know that that's definitely something he prides himself on, is
Right.
are his what he can draw up for guys, you know, whether it's an inbounds play or after a timeout. He loves to scheme that way, so a strength of their coaching staff.
I feel like he was scheming all the way back in his high school days when he wasn't even the coach, and then obviously with the Golden Bears at the U of A. That one a little bit off target from Cheney. Rebound gathered in by Edmonton. Davis Jr. tried a little finger roll asking for a foul, none coming. Cheney, things opening up a little bit perhaps. Comba, Cheney. Davis Jr. the defender.
Ooh, that was close to a carry there.
Three from the corner, rims out, rebound secured by Brown. Wants to go right back up with it, he did, he was fouled. Javante Brown will go to the line. The big man for Calgary, only a 50% free throw shooter, bit of a smaller sample size, but maybe not the worst foul to take.
Well, I think one of the things that the Stingers did so well in the first quarter was get out and run, and they did that because they were getting stops, they were getting touches, and one of the things that doesn't show up on the stat sheet that Vandemel was doing so well in the first quarter was deflections, defensive touches that were leading to either a steal or a turnover, and a couple of possessions where we got to see the Stingers run there, but then their decision making at the end, you had a 2-on-1, you got to find a way to get an open layup there rather than a contested
right.
for a foul. But Calgary taking care of the basketball a little bit better, taking some better shots, that'll also help them get back into this.
It's another empty trip to the line for Calgary twice in this quarter. Can the fans win 2 prizes then, or just once?
Yeah, the fans weren't nearly as excited on that one.
There's a steal, Miller more, and he does get the finish. Good close from Ashton, didn't quite get a piece. Ashton trying to respond the other way, and he will. Does it all himself. Certainly made a positive impact so far in his first game, Makai Ashton. Cheney, corner, Comba, 3. Just off the front rim, rebound for Donald. Donald slowing things down for the moment. Oh, Lindsay took a shot, took a second one, and they got the second one. Maybe an adding up of fouls there. Nuga checks back in, so does Trey King for Edmonton. King is going to, he's still at the table here. Looks like we're going to see Sincere Carey also come back into the game. Nick Hornsby on the line, got 11 points at the moment. Coming up at the half, CEBL feature, Canada's game. Sarah will interview Calgary's head coach. We'll look at the first half stats, and we'll also take a look back at Kira's players to watch and see how well she did here pre-game. That's coming up at the half in 3 minutes and 9 seconds of game time. Hornsby got that one. Now King will be able to come onto the floor for Nick Hornsby.
So I think what's happening right now, they think that Comba touched it, and so it becomes 2 points rather than 1 on the free throw, I think is what Hornsby is saying on there. I actually am unsure about that, but that would make sense.
Yep, no, I understand where you're coming from. As Carey pushed in the back there by Nuga. Play continues. Miller Moore Trying to break down King here. Miller Moore, did he drag that pivot foot? He just did. Just couldn't quite do it. He had that move 98% of the way there.
Another eye poke.
Got him grazed again. King a little bit wild with the hands early on in this one. It's a 15-point Stinger lead at the moment.
Full court press. Oh, just a little bit of showing some pressure.
Jack is up top, hands it off for King. The big men playing a little pick and roll game there, and a free throw line jumper didn't work out. Miller Moore kicks it out. Kamba, Carey. Brown rolling to the rim. Carey pushes his man off, opens up some space for the jumper. Heels out. Donald grabs the board. Calgary's got a little cold here in the second quarter. Donald. Now he's driving, fouled by Brown. Tay Donald will go back to the free throw line. 4 points on the game, and he's got them all at the charity stripe.
A couple good defensive rebounds too, really getting in there, and then he can lead that transition too. Good solid performance so far by Donald this game.
Adong McCoy checks into the game. McCoy is an Edmonton product. This is his second game, made his debut on Sunday in that win over the Mamba. Donald. Another one. Timeout taken by Calgary here. The lead has grown to 16, Kira, here. It was down to 9 at one point. The Stingers will open things up again.
Yeah, it's they've gotten out and ran. They've figured out, you know, how to play within the different defenses that Calgary's been throwing at them, and they've got to the line quite a few times. And not only that, but like a few and ones. And it seems like they really started to deflate the Surge, who had what seemed like a good start to that second quarter, but then finishing, getting out and running, getting some stops and touches, and the Surge seems to have slowed down a little bit from what we saw at the beginning of that second.
And Edmonton's done a good job here defensively, slowing down the Surge, and they've been on 5 fouls for basically 5 minutes here in the quarter.
Yeah, and I was really worried when it was 6.5 minutes that this game was going to be, or that quarter was going to be incredibly slow, but it's actually been pretty decent.
Yep.
Thankfully, for our sakes, for the fans' sakes, nobody wants to just watch, you know, them exchange free throws. But yeah, as corny as it sounds, you know, the Surge have that ability to really push momentum and have that energy and really come out and have that surge of energy, you know, if you want to go there.
I see what you did.
But Edmonton's been able to handle it, you know, be able to handle a little bit of a run, stick to their game plan, do what's been working for them. And like we talked about first, like being able to dictate this game and not allow Calgary to, you know, take their game and push it on them.
Sarah Ryan was politely eavesdropping on the Calgary huddle. What did you hear?
I was, and that is not a happy huddle right now. Coach frustrated with his team, feeling like they're holding the ball. Instead, he wants them to be making some passes and to find their bigs, and feels that will be the key to their success, but that wasn't entirely well received by his players. So we'll see how that pans out at half.
Interesting. Thank you, Sarah. Carey worked around Miller Moore, Kamba. Cheney straight on, got it to go. Couple of threes here for Armani Cheney. Will help the Surge get back into the game if they can heat up a little bit from outside. Miller Moore all up in Donald's kitchen. And there's a foul called. Miller Moore, you could see him grab the arm. He's gonna argue it. But I thought from here you could see the grab.
Yeah, I thought so as well. He was that right arm, I thought for sure, and he got away with a little bit of contact before that, and so it was kind of a build-up into that shot. And again, Tay Donald, I think, did a good job recognizing that he wasn't in great position, was able to attack that arm, that hip. But yeah, I agree. I thought that was a foul.
Donald at the line again, and he's got all 6 now of his points at the free throw line, so he's done a really good job of being aggressive.
Yeah, this last minute and a half is going to be big for the Surge. If you can go into that locker room, you know, I mean, ideally under 10, you know, being able to have that single-digit deficit rather than a double-digit one can be really huge. So I think how they approach this last minute and a half is going to be big for them.
Nuga over top of the defense. Good finish. Lead back up to 16. Cheney, Brown rolling. That ball is tied up. Jump ball, and the possession arrow is with Calgary.
It's interesting. One of the things, I've had some friends that have watched some of the games that haven't watched CEBL before, and one of the things they say is like, oh, it's a very physical league. Like they really let them play. It's super physical, and it is. It's an incredibly physical league. But one of the things that I've seen maybe more so this year than I've recognized in previous years is just the amount of attention that they've been giving to the refs. Just play through it. Like there's only so many things that you can control, and you can't control what the refs are going to call. But if you allow them to take you out of your game, like now you're playing against them as well. And I feel like that's something that Calgary is falling into a little bit right now.
Donald gets called for the foul here, and he can't believe it. He thought maybe Miller Moore pushed off on him. The foul was called on Donald, and so Ruggsy will go to the line for a couple.
Yeah, I didn't see, all I saw was Donald's reaction, but that is not a good source of information in really many sports.
No, it's not.
You have to see what actually happens. If you trust the reaction, you're going to get it wrong most of the time, I find. So I'm unsure.
Miller Moore was one of the ones who had an empty trip earlier in this quarter for the Surge, but he gets that first one. Nick Hornsby's going to come back on the floor too here after this free throw. It's McCoy who will come off. 35.9 here, Coach. Are you going 2 for 1?
Honestly, probably not. I want a good look. You know, I want, I mean, if you can get an early one, it's pretty tight.
Gets a double team, though, tough.
Yeah, and I just want to end on a good possession, you know. Trust that the defense is going to do its job and just end on a good possession, a good look going into the half. Not
stolen by Carey. What a good play this is. Sincere Carey tried to pass it, a little wraparound underneath. It was blocked by Hornsby.
See, and I feel like Calgary's had a decent amount of those as well. Just like hands getting on it or mishandling passes, just not on the same page a lot of the time, which makes sense, you know, when you have that many new guys and haven't played together, like those are things that you have to kind of work out.
Shot clock is off here. Final 12 seconds of the opening half. Carey driving, and he was knocked away by Hornsby, following up Cheney up high, and Brown couldn't lay it in. What's the call here? It's a foul, no basket. Boursier gets called for the foul. 2 shots for Brown here, 2.6 left in the half.
So I'll be interested if he'll call a timeout if he makes these, because he likes to scheme, and they had that half court with the, 0.7 in Saskatoon?
Right,
Nuga,
yeah.
Which was completely drawn up, by the way.
100%. That's 0 for 4. Brown in the quarter. Long heave. Oh, it's off the glass.
Had more time.
It did add more time. Could have taken another step or 2 as Nuga heaved it. What a good first half, though, from Edmonton. They're up by 14, Kara.
Yeah, really impressed with their finishing, if I'm going to be completely honest. Like, they are aggressive. They are attacking downhill. There's absolutely no fear of the size and athleticism of Calgary's defense. And I don't know what their shooting percentage is right now, but it's got to be 52%, yeah, and like that makes a lot of sense, and really impressed with the pace that they're playing at, and happy to see that they're dictating.
Sarah Ryan standing by with CEBL debutante, Sincere Carey.
Yes, thank you, Grayson. I am here with Sincere. Sincere, you were just signed to the Surge a couple of days ago, making your debut today. How does it feel, your first half?
It feels good. You know, I'm just trying to get my legs under me, get a little wind, and try to come out here with a win, do whatever I can to help my team win.
Yeah, you've been driving down the middle through the key a lot. Is that kind of your style of play, that aggressive, push it right down the middle?
Yeah, I think I'm one of the best guards who can get my 2 feet in the paint, and I'm unselfish, so I try to find my teammates, trying to figure out when they're going to cut, and just know their game and get them the ball where it's easier for them to score.
You obviously last season played in Europe, in Croatia, and also Bosnia-Herzegovina. Tell me what you took away from that you think you can bring to the Surge.
Really just leadership. Just using my voice, being vocal, and doing the dirty work, the stuff that doesn't get stats. So, playing defense, picking up the ball, pressuring it, and making extra passes for guys to get open shots.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Sincere. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Send it back to you, Grayson, Kira.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you, Sincere, as well. The Stingers lead by 14 here, 53-39. Second half action from the Hive coming up in about 15 minutes right here. You're watching CEBL Basketball Live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
In Canada, the game doesn't sit far away. It's not behind glass, it's not out of reach, it's right here. From coast to coast, basketball lives in our neighborhoods. In the parks where it starts, in the gyms where it grows, in the cities where it becomes something more. This is the CEBL, Canada's pro basketball league, where elite talent leads the way, fueling and inspiring the next generation of hoopers in the North. This is pro basketball, up close, where fans aren't distant. They fuel this game. They're connected. They're a part of it. Where players aren't just names on a roster. They're from here, raised here, playing for their communities. From the east to the west, the game moves with the country.
It's a dream come true. Never thought we'd have pro basketball here, and here we have it.
Not one city, not one style, but one league, built for Canadian basketball culture.
You gotta love it, Canadian hoops.
Because in the CEBL, it's never just about the scoreboard. It's about opportunity. It's about access. It's about showing the next generation what's possible right now, right here.
When I was younger, I didn't really have any role models to look up to in Saskatoon, so it's always great to be able to be a role model for the younger generation.
And on Canada Day, we don't just celebrate where we're from, we celebrate what we've built. A league that reflects our communities, our pace, our pride, our game. This is Canada's game. And this is the CEBL, Canada's Pro Basketball League.
Welcome back inside the Edmonton Expo Center here. It is a 14-point lead at the half for the Stingers. The Calgary Surge, Kira, just still trying to find their footing and find something to get them going, especially at the offensive end.
I thought that they had sort of figured it out in that second quarter. The start of it, they looked a little bit more like they were on the same page. They were knocking down some shots, but then they got into a little bit of foul trouble and seemed to take a little bit of a step back. But they mixed in some defenses, tried some different looks, which did, you know, for a short amount of time, kind of threw the Stingers off. But you can tell that they're a new team. You can tell that this isn't something that they've been working on since May like the Stingers have been. It's a completely new roster. A lot of guys that I don't recognize that are making their debuts, haven't played together. And these are just things that are naturally you have to work out, and you just need reps and time, not only so that you can understand how the play develops, but also trusting each other, communicating, and then actually being able to make reads on offensive sets and getting guys shots that they're comfortable with and that they want to take. And right now they're just not there yet.
40% shooting for Calgary in that first half, 45% from three, but only 55% from the line. They missed 8 free throws, so they left some points on the board. Meanwhile, the Stingers, they were also in foul trouble in that second quarter, but they found a way to play through it and stretch their lead, actually.
Yeah, it was actually surprising looking at the stats. I thought there would be something that really stood out that the Stingers was doing, that they were doing better, but it's kind of just across the board, you know, a couple more rebounds here, a couple more steals here, a few more assists. Their percentage of threes and just field goals are just, you know, slightly better. So they're just, you know, on the positive side of almost every line against Calgary, and it's showing in this 14-point lead. And I think their aggression offensively is something that is really refreshing to watch. Everybody is not afraid to be attacking downhill against the athleticism of Calgary and finishing incredibly well. This is some of the best basketball that I've seen them play, and also, you know, coming off of 2 wins, they're feeling good. They've got some rhythm, and they're on the same page right now.
Growing in confidence, the Stingers. And you saw there the halftime stats, again, 51% field goal shooting for Edmonton, just 40 for Calgary. 3-point percent favoring the Surge, 45% to 36. Rebounds, pretty even, 20 for Edmonton, 19 for Calgary. Turnovers, the Surge have committed 7 to just 4 for Edmonton, and that'll make head coach Jordan Baker very happy, the fact that they took care of the ball there in that first half. Here's a look at the numbers so that you can see them and I don't just have to read them up to you. A little bit easier to take in visually.
Yeah, I think like one of the big things too, like the Stingers taking care of the basketball, only 4 turnovers is huge, because again, I mean, from what we're used to anyways with Calgary is getting out and running and playing with pace, but you know, you have to be playing defense and getting stops and creating those opportunities. And the fact that Edmonton is taking care of the basketball, getting really good looks and high quality shots, they can't get offense from their defense on the opposing side, and I think that's a huge thing for the Stingers right now.
Absolutely. There's a look at your halftime stats. Still a few minutes away from this second half. We'll take another quick break, and we'll be right back to Edmonton and the Battle of Alberta on Canada Day. You are watching CEBL Basketball Live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
at caltire.com.
We're here with Surge coach Dave DeViro. Coach, a bit of a hole to dig out of in the third. How do you intend to do that?
We got to be better defensively. We're just giving them way too many points in the paint. I think they got shooting 70% from points in the paint. We just got to do a better job of protecting our basket right now.
You also have a couple of players making their CEBL debut. How have you felt they performed early?
As well as I imagine they would in their debut, right? First half is getting your feet wet a little bit and then getting more comfortable with the way the league's going. And the game is going, and this is the way the game's being officiated. So I think they'll be much better in the second half.
You coached in youth sports for over 2 decades, one of the most winningest coaches at that level. How is coaching in the CEBL different?
Just, the level of play is a lot higher. The talent is much greater. Guys can make plays here in the CEBL that guys in youth sport just can't make. So I think that's the biggest difference.
All right, well, thank you, Coach, and good luck in the third quarter.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Back to you, Grayson. Kira?
Thanks so much, Sarah, and thanks, of course, to interim head coach Dave DeViro for the Calgary Surge. Hey, Kira, let's take a look back at your players to watch. You had Marlon Johnson as well as Baz Davis Jr. highlighted pregame.
Yeah, Marlon Johnson didn't even play 5 minutes that half, so his impact hasn't been quite what I was anticipating, but I do think that if he gets on the floor in this second half, that we'll feel his presence a little bit more. And then Davis Jr., only 4 points in that half, but I do feel like his presence was really felt. He's one of those guys that's really aggressive with the basketball. He's not afraid to go to the rim, and as Coach pointed out, there's 70% from points in the paint, and I do think that a lot of that energy comes from just the fearlessness of their guards willing to attack, and Davis Jr. is one of those guys for sure.
A couple of fouls on Johnson, too, kind of kept them off the floor a little bit as well. It's time for our Red Tag Path to the Playoffs update. Here's how the standings shape up right now. The Eastern Conference presented by Lotto Max and the Western by Cal Tire. Scarborough continues to pace the field here, 12-2 atop the East. After that, the East is very interesting with Brampton, Montreal, Ottawa, Niagara all in the mix. Meanwhile, in the West, it's Vancouver and Winnipeg who are 1-2. Looks like they're gonna battle for those top 2 spots. Saskatoon and Edmonton is gonna be a very interesting battle down the stretch to see who gets into that 3rd spot in the West.
Yeah, that's why these games are so huge. Like having those 2 wins over the Mamba, previously, could be gigantic for the Stingers. And anytime you're playing somebody in your conference, then it's, they're big games. So another one like this one tonight, very large.
If the Mamba were 8-6 and the Stingers were 3-9, if Saskatoon had won both those games, you probably don't feel like they can catch them by the end of the season. But because they swept that home and home, all of a sudden they might be in the driver's seat here. They got a couple of games to make up still as well. Just a few seconds away from the 3rd quarter tip-off. There's a look at some of the crowd. Lots of red in addition to Stingers yellow, and it's not Surge red either. It is Canada red. We've seen all sorts of cool, interesting get-ups, outfits, hats, different jerseys. I've seen a Christine Sinclair jersey, lots of Alphonso Davies jersey. Somebody's got the Kawhi Leonard Raptors jersey, and why not? Kawhi coming back, probably.
It feels like a fever dream to me.
It doesn't feel real, does it?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I absolutely love it. He's my all-time favorite, but I can't believe it's happening again. It just blew my mind.
Exciting times in Raptorland for sure. Exciting times for the Stingers. They're aiming for their 3rd straight win here. All would be against Western Conference opponents. And right now, on pace, Guy is here to tell you that they would once again be on pace for over 100 points. So Edmonton is finding their offense in these last few games.
And a huge thing for the Stingers, because their offense has struggled a little bit, being able to actually score a ton, being able to hold the Surge under 90 gives them a huge opportunity to win this basketball game.
Nick Hornsby out there, Scotty Lindsay, King, Van Demel, and Boursier to start for the Stingers. Johnson, as well as Joplin, Cheney on the floor, Brown, and that one from Miller Moore is off the mark. Sorry, misspoke, not Johnson, Kamba for Calgary. Nice reception, Hornsby out to Lindsay for 3. That's good from the corner.
Love to
more
see
for Scotty.
Getting your shooter a really good, high-quality shot early, in, out, uncontested. Love that.
creeps ever closer to that milestone mark. Joplin drops it off. Cheney. It's a mismatch here with King. He just kind of blows by the big guy and draws a foul. Cheney taking advantage.
Yeah, an interesting switch there at the top on that one. I know King gets switched out a lot on the perimeter, but I don't know that they needed to do that and then create that mismatch, and especially because King has such an issue staying in the game with foul trouble. Why get pulled out on a guard on the perimeter to put yourself in that position?
Just the second foul, though, for Trey King. Cheney, even more points out there. Boursier for Edmonton. Hornsby prodding. Lindsay for three and away from the play. You can see there, combo went down. That's because he got tangled up in a foul. Is good he called. Is this on King as well? I believe it is. Yes, so 2 quick fouls here. You just mentioned it.
Is that my fault?
Never. There's no such thing as commentator curses. They can't hear us.
I wish he could sometimes.
Sometimes they probably wish it too, as Cheney. Joplin for 3. Rimmed out, rebound secured by Hornsby. Nick Hornsby, look out. Almost taken away by Cheney. Instead, it's a 3 for Lindsay. He's asking for a foul, not getting one. Up ahead quickly, Matthew Kamba. That's a strong finish.
Yeah, not really somebody you want to have a one-on-one matchup with near the rim most of the time.
That's an illegal screen. Is that King again? Yes, it is. Goodness. King is out. I think he was going to get subbed out before he picked up that 4th foul, but now he has picked up the 4th, and Jack is back in, and so extra minutes here for Isaac Jack and the other bigs.
That is unfortunate. Gotta be smarter than that, though. You got a sub coming in for you. Gotta have a bit more poise and maturity in those situations.
Brown hands it off for Cheney. Across the floor, now up top for Joplin. 7 to shoot. Joplin will take. He's not been afraid to pull the trigger from deep, David Joplin. Can Hornsby get to the rim? That's knocked away. Joplin maybe not making shots, but making an impact at the other end. Kamba left his feet. 1-touch pass to Joplin, back to Cheney. Cheney drives, little screen set underneath the rim by Kamba. 2 more points for Cheney, give him 9 now. Got a foul, little push called on Brown, I believe.
Yeah, Bandamel a little bit quiet in that second quarter after, a really helpful, especially defensively, first quarter, getting lots of deflections and just a really good presence. So I'm hoping that he finds his footing a little bit here in the second half, because he was a big piece to gaining this lead in the first place.
Marlon Johnson Jr. back on the floor for the Surge. Hornsby, Bandamel thought about the quick trigger 3. Instead, Ashton is back on the floor. That's Mackay Ashton Langford. Lindsay just lost the handle on that one as he tried to blow by the defender. Surge have at least held Edmonton only 3 points here for the first 3 minutes, so some defensive adjustments have been made. It's a hard screen from Johnson, allows Miller Moore to get to the bucket, but no finish. Hornsby spun away, and a foul is going to be called on Kamba. So Grabso, a foul called on the Surge. Here comes Tate Donald in for Scotty Lindsay. Donald had a good first half, but did all his damage at the free throw line. Well, that's not a bad thing to see as a coach, is it, Kira? It means that your guy's being aggressive and is drawing contact and fouls.
Free throws are the highest percentage shot you can get in a game, so if you're getting to the line and taking advantage of that, that's huge. And then not only that, so you're getting yourself a good chance to get some points, but you're putting them in foul trouble.
Great passing and good patience from Jack underneath.
And sitting some guys down that they regularly have out on the floor, so super helpful.
Adonis Arms back on the floor for the Surge. Arms from the free throw line. That's off the target. Ashton has grabbed the rebound. Ashton. This is Hornsby. Vandemel cut through the lane. Vandemel's got it. The free throw line gets way up for that jump shot. Jack, the offensive rebound, and the putback did a 360 on the rim before dropping in. Just took a complete tour of the rim that time before heading through the net as Isaac Jack has made a nice impact here in the third quarter. Good defense there, stayed straight up and down. It leads to this rush from Vandemel and a good defensive hand from Kamba. Johnson for three, that'll go. Surge needed that one.
Yeah, it's a big three.
Brown's waiting at the scorer's table, ready to come back in for Calgary. Ashton can't find a way through. Donald, Hornsby, jump shot, bounces around Jack. We reached over for that rebound, and that's going to be called for a foul.
Yeah, good effort. I love the fight for it, but definitely an over the back. Kamba had position on him. But what a great showing. Like, what a great game for him so far. Not only finishing some really tough buckets, but defensively, like, had a couple tough mismatches, was able to play straight up and just, you know, change some shots and make it difficult for the attacker to finish without fouling. And it's, yeah, he's one of my favorites this year for sure.
9 points, 3 boards for Jack at the moment. Patterson for three, he just checked in, and he gets right back into rhythm with a three-pointer. Lead down to 10 after back-to-back triples from the visitors.
Yeah, this is a very key point in the game for both teams, because right now, cut the lead down, close to getting back into single digits. Stingers have had a hard time not only getting stops, but getting scores here. So they either can ride this momentum and be able to kind of, you know, handle it as the Surge kind of go through the top of their ride or the top of their momentum push. But it's a big point in this game, because the Stingers need to have a little bit of composure here to be able to take control back of this game.
Addison Patterson, or Addy, if you will, from Mississauga, jogs off the floor. The Surge have cut the lead to 8. Timeout taken by Edmonton. You're watching CEBL Basketball Live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Edmonton's most talented female basketball players here watching the game. Andrea Plouffe. Andrea, you played ball for a long time in Washington for the Huskies. 100 games. I have your 820 points over those games. Talk to us about, you know, there's a lot of young female fans in the audience. What would you say to them about where sport can take them?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think ultimately it's a great launch pad for your life, because you're not going to be in sport forever. So if you can learn a lot of lessons through it, make some great relationships, build your character, those are all great things. And if you get the chance to play at the next level, that's awesome.
And if you recognize Andrea, and of course her last name Plouffe, she does have some very famous sisters, Catherine and Michelle. They've represented Canada at the Olympics. What was it like growing up in that house? Was it all basketball all day in your family?
It was a lot of competitiveness, for sure. Everything was competitive, from the smallest board game to playing basketball outside. Everything was, intense.
And obviously now here cheering on the Stingers, I'd imagine. What are your thoughts on the game so far?
Oh yeah, it's great. We got a close matchup here, a lot of energy, the amazing crowd. The Edmonton community is such great supporters of basketball. It's awesome.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Andrea. We appreciate you being here. Back to you, Grayson. Kira.
Thanks so much, Sarah, and also thank you to Andrea. Yeah, the Plouffe sisters, boy, they've really put basketball in Edmonton on the map. Done such good work at the Olympics, obviously with the 5-person game, but then maybe more so at 3x3, Kira.
Yeah, I mean, I love that we got Andrea, that we recognize that she's here, because, you know, one of the best to come out of Edmonton for sure, and obviously a huge impact on her sisters. So yeah, I love that recognition of the strong female representation that we have in the building today.
Jack with the putback. Can we call her one of the OGs of Edmonton basketball? Is that fair?
I don't know. I guess it depends on who you're talking to, right?
Depends what era, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you got the Edmonton grads. Is that the OG era? Like, it's hard not to say that that's the OG, right?
OG. Miller Moore able to sell that foul. He's asking for it to be a shooting foul, but it's not going to be.
Calgary, by the way, I don't think it was on the shot.
Yeah.
It's a good try.
See, while we were chatting with Andrea, Calgary hit another bucket. The lead is down to 6 here as the Surge forget the punt, Surge right back into the game. Crowd making a lot of noise, sorry. Hey, Calgary fans, your seat is waiting for you to catch every single game live from the Winsport Event Center. Get your tickets at calgarysurge.ca/tickets or by scanning that QR code right on your screen. We'll leave it up there for a couple more seconds as you get your phone out. Go check out the Surge. They've played kind of all over the place. They were at Lethbridge for a game. They played the Stingers in Red Deer. Are they not going to Whitehorse here coming up as well?
Wow, I didn't know that. That makes it tough because I mean, the Red Deer and the Lethbridge game were home games, but you know, not necessarily home ones. So that home court advantage maybe not as helpful as it would be at the Winsport.
This one's thrown away. Surge within 4, and they can feel the momentum starting to go. You can see there Armani Chaney wanting to get the ball in quickly and keep things rolling.
Yeah, basketball is a game of runs, and like I said, this is a really key part of the game for both teams. If the Stingers can kind of manage this run and maintain the lead, or if the Surge can reclaim it.
Davis Jr. to the bucket. Good defense from Miller Moore, and he secured the rebound as well.
And a huge part of that is just shot selection. Like, the Stingers were doing such a good job in that first half of getting high quality shots, getting to the rim. Like, I got 70% of points in the paint because they were taking good quality shots. Lanes were opening up. They weren't taking it too early with a 1-on-5 sort of opportunity. And I think that that's been a little bit of an issue in this quarter, is just the pace has slowed down for them. They haven't been running in transition nearly as much because they haven't been getting stops, so then their opportunities are far less, but then also just having better shot selection in the quarter court.
Davis Jr. all the way, went high off the glass. Not as high as the winner against Saskatoon, but that was a good finish from Davis Jr. And a much needed basket for Edmonton. Arms will step back, got the 3, and the foul. Pardon me, it was a 2. Just a toe on the line.
Yeah, that is not what you want, especially after you get a good bucket. Come down and make a mistake like that. It's just unfortunate.
This is 64-60. Arms going to the line. Arms is now up to 14 points, make it 14 still. been big for the Surge in this game. Averages 12 points a game. Nuga for 3, that's off the mark. Miller Moore grabs the board. Edmonton cold at the moment. There's a 3 for Patterson. That was most of the way in before it popped back out. Donald, 3 for Davis Jr., good!
I was just about to say, that better go in.
Maybe it wasn't the best shot selection.
I mean, it went in, so it was, but you know, he's had the ball in his hands quite a lot, and they've been struggling to score, which I understand. Like, he is that aggressive piece. He wants to be that scorer, but we got to make sure that we are taking good shots, good looks. But it went in, so it's good.
So 67-60, and a timeout was taken there by the Calgary Surge. As Calgary has fought their way back into this game, they've cut the lead from halftime in half at 67-60. Sarah is just listening into the Calgary Surge huddle, so we'll see what she comes back with out of this break. But Kira, you have to like what Calgary's done in this third quarter.
Yeah, they look better in almost every aspect. They're hitting some big shots, they're playing with some pace, but that also has a lot to do with the Stingers' offense. They're not getting good looks, they are turning it over and giving Calgary that opportunity to pick up that momentum and play the way that they want to.
7 turnovers in the quarter for the Stingers. They had 4 all first half.
I didn't think it was going to be 7, but yeah, there you go. That's the big difference is, again, not getting good looks, turning it over, giving Calgary the opportunity to get offense from their defense and play with the pace that they want to. You got to take care of the basketball and make better decisions.
Sarah, how was Dave DeViro this time?
Again, trying to assert his control over his players, saying, you're doing what you want to do. I'm the coach. I'm going to decide what we're doing, and we are playing a zone defense. So we'll see if that zone defense plays out on this next play.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. This is Carey trying to fight his way to the basket. Sincere Carey, just a little bit out of control. Last touch by Edmonton. Ball stays at this end of the floor, but there's only 5 on the shot clock. Teams will practice these low shot clock scenarios. Well, they threw it into the corner and got stuck. Arms just short. Good defense by Scotty Lindsay. Nuga, Jack, Lindsay for 3. That one rims out. Still on 6 points. 6 points short of 1,000. Miller Moore. Miller Moore, just a little bit too strong that time on a pretty good move. Davis Jr. all the way with speed. Fouled, he'll go to the line for a couple. It's only the 3rd foul committed by the Surge in the quarter.
Yep.
Hey Edmonton, your summer plans just got serious. Join us for multiple special edition theme nights throughout the season. Purchase today at thestingers.ca/tickets or by scanning that QR code right there on your screen. We'll leave that up for a couple more seconds as always, so you get your phones out. Definitely come on down and check out the game here at the Hive. A great atmosphere, especially today on a Canada Day with their rivals from Calgary in town. Davis Jr. going for a 2nd free throw here. 61% on the season, but made those ones. 9-point lead for Edmonton here. What's down as close as 4 for the Surge. Stingers rebuilt that lead a little bit.
Last minute of the quarter again, big for both teams. Need to be able to finish this quarter on a high note going into the 4th and into target time. Some momentum. Like, again, basketball's a game of runs. Who's going to have the momentum going into the quarter?
Carey asked for Brown to come out and screen for him, and he worked out well as Brown just played lead blocker. Davis Jr. tried to no-look pass there to McCoy, who's back on the floor. And this ball is going to go to Calgary, despite a lot of protests from folks in white shirts. Carey with patience here. Carey, once again, a 2-man game with Brown. Carry all the way. Defense from McCoy. And the ball last touched by Edmonton. Stays down here with 11 on the clock. Carey, the inbounder. Into the corner. Nothing there for Adeladune initially. Brown. And Campbell was going the wrong way that time. Turn the shot clock off. Final Stingers possession of the quarter.
Yeah, I was wondering if Hornsby was going to come back in for these last 14 seconds.
Hornsby is here. McCoy comes off the floor.
Need a good decision maker here for this last possession.
Joplin checking in as well for Calgary. Davis keeping it away from Carey. Now Lindsay, 5 to shoot in the quarter. Davis Jr. for 3, and it's off the mark. Well, Calgary's done half the job they needed to do. They took a 14-point lead and trimmed it down to 7, 69-62. They also held the Stingers to just 16 points in that third quarter. Should be a heck of a finish. And we need to come back to the Hive here in Edmonton. You're watching CEBL Basketball Live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus. Welcome back to Edmonton. Time now for the cruise of the game presented by Cal Tire. And it's not so much a cruise as it is a trail 3 from Scotty Lindsay. 6 points in the game, 6 points away from 1,000 for his CEBL career. What a milestone that would be to cross. And the Stingers would sure appreciate it if he could get that out of the way here right away. And they could use the points in this game. Grayson Knudsen, Kira Lyons, and Sarah Ryan here with you on Canada Day, a Battle of Alberta. Hope you're enjoying it as Kamba fires from deep. That's off the heel, big rebound to Hornsby. Surge were down by 14 at the break. Now it's 7 heading into the fourth quarter, and a foul is called. Despite the look of shock from Matthew Kamba, Van de Mel was the one who got bumped.
Yeah, that was an interesting one.
It's not a shooting foul. Jordan Baker hollering some instructions from the sidelines. Nuga to Bandamel. Kamba right up on him. Hornsby, bounce pass. Nuga up high, a little runner. That'll drop. Nice play from the Stingers.
Yeah, I love that. Nuga is so fast. Being able to use his speed in that situation was great.
Screen opened up a 3 for Carey, but he missed. Ball stays at this end of the floor. Like Coach Dave DeViro said at the half, he expected his new players to be better. Haven't seen a ton of Joplin. Here he is now with the ball, taking the 3. And there it is. He's better. I was going to say Carey has definitely settled into the second half. They found their legs. That will help the Surge's cause. Little bounce pass into Lindsay. That's too strong because he was fouled on the play. So Lindsay will go to the line for a couple. That foul is on Carey. So Scotty Lindsay will go to the free throw line. Oak Park, Illinois, the former Northwestern player. Made the first Scotty on the season a very good free throw shooter, almost 87%. Makes them both. That's 8 points now for Scotty, 4 more for 1,000. 89 trying to break down 98 here. Some high numbers. Carey all the way. A nifty finish, but that's going to be an offensive foul. That's on Brown away from the play.
I think the hoop counts, though. Or no, it doesn't.
Doesn't count.
It doesn't count after the foul.
Dave DeFiero's not happy about it.
And that was a really nice take by Carey as well. I mean, not saying I didn't see the actual foul, but I'd be upset too just because that was a really nice read, good play.
Bandemel. Oh, that was an outstanding finish with the left hand from Bandemel. Right through the trees.
That puts him into double-digit scoring too. Now Stingers have 4 in double digits. It's definitely what they need since they don't have, you know, the outstanding offensive presence. They need to score by committee.
Tough three. Well hit by Adeladune. Big bucket for Calgary.
Very timely.
Nuga. Bandemel. Screen from Hornsby. He pops. Hornsby for 3. Off the mark. Carey. Lindsay picks him up. Carey. ISO, now a kick, a 3 again from Adeladune. That one won't go. Rebound was gathered in by Kamba, and it's off his knee and out of play. Stingers basketball. Surger back within 7. Tay Donald hustling to check in here. Cheney as well, and Trey King. King's got to be careful. He got all those fouls. Apparently we were going to have just one sub, and now everybody wants to come back on the floor. Miller Moore, Patterson, all back out there. Adeladune, Kamba coming off. Bandemel, Lindsay, open for 3. Good! Scotty Lindsay, 1 point away from 1,000.
Beautiful find.
Cheney, Brown rolling, one more pass to Joplin, Donald with a hand in the way.
Yeah, nice rotations there. And King getting to that spot early, not putting himself in a position to foul. Donald with the rotation in behind, getting the touch. Well done.
Inbound to Miller Moore. Joplin's up top. Trying to drive and get inside, get some contact, and gets fouled. Good work from Joplin. The 3 hasn't been falling, so he went inside. Joplin at the free throw line. Gets that first one. 5 points in his debut with Joplin. Well, this Friday, the Calgary Surge continue their road trip. We didn't think they could go further north than Edmonton, but they're off to Whitehorse, and they will take on the Saskatoon Mamba. It's the first ever pro basketball game from Whitehorse. 6:30 Pacific, 7:30 Mountain, and then the Stingers will go to Vancouver. Potential playoff preview against the Bandits on Friday. Tip at 7 Pacific, 8 Mountain. So a couple of interesting games to look forward to there. Very excited to see that crowd up in Whitehorse. King, it was awkward, got fouled. Almost dropped for him, but he will go to the line.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he found a lane there. Shot clock counting down. Decided he was going to be the one. So well done. Find himself at the line. Best case scenario out of what they had there.
Olu Deladoon coming back onto the floor. Brown will step off. He's on 3 fouls now after committing that one. Trey King, 71.4% from the line this season. Will drop ever so slightly. 5 points, 3 boards for King so far. In a little bit of limited minutes due to those fouls that he picked up in very quick succession in the third quarter.
Yeah, it was honestly impressive.
It kind of was.
3, just bang, bang, bang. But thankfully, Isaac Jack coming in, got 11 points, playing really solid defense, stepping up and doing his job in the absence.
And Deladoon, strong drive to the net. Finishes that one. Once again, the Surge are at that 7-point barrier, and then Donald turns it over. Patterson running the floor. He'll pull back. He's open for 3. Patterson got it! Lead down to 4. Big bucket for Addy Patterson. And if you're going to pull back and take that 3-pointer, you better hit it.
Yeah, and offense from their defense, right? Getting a good stop, getting a hand on that ball, attacking an unorganized defense on the offside. Yeah, I mean, if you're Calgary, you got to be feeling good. You've got this within 4, 6.5 roughly until target time, so you've started to close that lead a little bit. You have the momentum, so a good timeout here by the Stingers, and they have some adjustments to make. Their offense struggling right now. Defense struggling too.
Patterson up to 15 points now to go along with 5 rebounds on the game for him. Helping to lead the way for the Surge. Adonis Arms has 14. Deladoon is 10 off the bench. None of these starters for Calgary are in double digits, but 3 players off the bench have reached double digits for the Surge. Meanwhile, as you had mentioned previously, Edmonton has 5 players in double digits, 3 starters, Vandemel, Hornsby, and Lindsay, and then Jack and Davis Jr. off the bench. $79-75. Feels like Calgary's just kind of hanging around here, and it would be maybe prudent for the Stingers to put them away here sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it can be a tough thing when you're down around 10 the entire game, because it feels kind of exhausting. Like you have pushes and you feel like you're getting close, but you never quite cross that barrier, and that can be kind of a deflating thing. But I feel like Calgary's gotten really close here at key times, and a lot of this.
A lot more turnovers in this half for the Stingers, and they only had 4 in the first half.
And a ton off the dribble, like just putting it down when there's too many hands, it's too crowded, there's not a lane there. Share the basketball, hunt for that better shot like they were doing in the first half. Their offense has become a lot more 1v5 and stagnant, and it's showing in how they're struggling to score.
Joplin for 3, off in front of the rim. Now 10 turnovers in the second half for the Stingers.
That's not good.
Vandemel driving on a Deladoon to King. 0v0 in the post. Poked away by Joplin out of bounds. Ball stays at this end.
Credit to Calgary, like they've been doing a really good job getting hands in lanes and hands on just when the ball gets put on the floor. Like they're defensively really throwing the Stingers off and not allowing them to get anything that they would like.
Vandemel couldn't quite get that up and under to go. Stingers have 26 points in the half. Deladoon, the C's opened up for him and he took advantage. It's down to a 2-point game.
Yeah, that's terrible communication.
Davis Jr., King screens and rolls. Hornsby. Nuga. Out to Davis Jr., takes a 3. Big bucket as Davis Jr. Cheney.
That offense, again, crossed the midline. Everybody touched that on that possession, and we're getting, and even still, like a little bit more contested, but it's a good shot. They're sharing the basketball better, and they get rewarded.
This is going to be Edmonton ball out of that play.
I was a little bit blocked.
I'm very surprised by that.
I couldn't quite see it.
Certainly looked like there was a tie-up as the player was going to the bucket. Maybe we'll take another quick peek here. Deladoon's driving. maybe it is a hand on the ball. Okay.
Yeah, I like that no call,
Better from
honestly.
this end. Our vantage point, it looked like a foul for sure, but the referee had a much better look.
Surge coach definitely thought it was either, calling that it was either a block or a charge, but he kind of slipped through there, and I like the no call.
He's got the same angle as we do. Hornsby, Vandemel, that three won't go. Patterson the rebound. Cheney is open for three. That's off the front rim. Maybe forced that shot a little bit. Donald picked up by Cheney, who come up with a steal if somebody gets the ball, and then a foul is going to be called, and I think this is on Donald.
And that's going to send him to the line, I believe, as well.
Should be, yeah, the 5th foul of the quarter.
Or maybe that had already been put up. Must have been.
Oh, no, beg your pardon. Yep, no. Looking at the wrong side. So 5-point game. Again, we're approaching our target score time. First whistle after the 4-minute mark. Cheney, all the way, nice finish. Armani Cheney.
So quick, that first step just blew by Donald.
Cheney into double digits, there's a big shot from Davis Jr. again. Gaining a reputation here of being a clutch player. Patterson hits the three. I don't think Tibiro liked the shot selection, but he loves the result.
I felt that way both those last shots.
2-point game again. King to the lane. Little runner will drop. 86-82.
Baker telling them to foul.
They want to start target time right now.
Oh.
The 4-point lead, does that count? No, it doesn't. But goodness, that was pretty good.
That would have been a devastating shot if that counted. Put them down 1 going into target on a foul 3. Whew.
We are in target score time. 86-82. We'll get the calculator out. 95 will be our target here today. When we return to Edmonton, CEBL Basketball Live on CBC Jam, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Let's bring it on. It's game time. It's showtime. And it's your host, Nick Hornsby. Here's Oakland for the win.
You gotta love a Canadian news.
Two hands. Oh, what a block from behind.
Next bucket wins. Target score time is the best time of a game. The energy, the drama.
That anything can happen. Oh my goodness! Can you believe this guy?
Big players step up in big time. He is cooking.
What a game for Mason Bourcier's 100th game of his career. That is a huge milestone in the CEBL, the 6th player in the league's history to hit that. He got his start with the Fraser Valley Bandits all the way back in 2019. He's still going strong.
Thank you, Sarah. That one is off the front of the rim from Adeladune. Hornsby stolen by Cheney, but they call a foul. It looked like he got it clean, but the officials saw it differently.
But I'm excited about this lineup. I love when Hornsby leads their break. I think he's such a good decision maker. He is able to see where windows of opportunity are opening up, and I like when the ball is in his hand, especially just the pace that he likes to play at. But again, a credit, like hard to see if he actually got him there or not. Obviously, referee thought that he did, but Calgary doing such a good job getting hands on the basketball when they're putting it on the floor, and so Stingers need to be aware of that. They can't be attacking in crowded lanes because they're just turning it over far too many times. They've got 15 now and 10 in that third quarter, I think, or in that second half, sorry.
It's really allowed the Surge to get out and run fast break points. They're starting to get Patterson with a push off, but can't make the shot anyway. Hornsby quickly ahead for Nuga. King had good position in the post and a mismatch, and Cheney gets called for a foul. Good recognition by Nuga and a good hustle from King to get down and seal the smaller man.
Yeah, got to find a way to get him a clean pass there, though. He's got him absolutely buried. The pass was just a little bit soft. Like, you got to get that into his hands so that that's an and one now rather than just 2 shots.
Right.
Yeah, to your point about Calgary getting out to run, after that third quarter, Calgary only had, I don't even know how many fast break points, but ended now that they've got 20 because of all of those Stingers turnovers. They were able to get out and run, and a lot of threes, honestly. Like, they were able to get really early or transition threes in that fourth quarter.
King will split a pair of free throws. Stingers 6 points away. Surge 13 points shy of our target.
Need to dig in defensively here. Calgary needs to keep.
Cheney fires from deep. It's an air ball. Trying to save it there was Patterson, but unable to.
Just about to say they need to continue to share and hunt down that best shot. I don't think that was it.
Timeout's going to be taken by Dave Taviro and the Calgary Surge. I don't think he likes some of the shot selections that they've had on the first couple of possessions here at target score time.
Well, and sometimes you can fall into that trap. Like, you hit a couple really early ones, you're feeling good, and then target time is a totally different beast as well, right? Like, some teams are really good at it and others really struggle. The shot selection, though, is imperative if you're going to be able to come out on top in target time.
Sarah Ryan has more on a Friday's game between the Surge and the Mamba up north. Sarah.
Thank you, Grace. And that's right, on this Canada Day, we have to let you know about a really cool initiative with the Surge on Friday. They're playing the Saskatoon Mamba in Whitehorse, Yukon. Tip-off is at 7:30 Mountain at the Takini Arena. And if you haven't been up to our country's territories yet, I highly, highly recommend it. Absolutely gorgeous landscapes, great wildlife viewing. And right about now, they've got sunlight almost all day long. Tickets are still available.
Yeah, we think we get a lot of sun up here, but not nearly as much as they do. Yukon, they're celebrating, of course, Gavin McKenna being the first overall draft pick in the NHL. Sports in the Yukon is really seeing a bit of a surge here. And they're going to get to enjoy the Calgary Surge.
Did you do that on purpose?
I didn't mean to do that, but it worked out nicely. King. Here's Nuga. Calgary trying to keep him out of the lane. Nice pass, and King will finish.
Beautiful play.
At the other end, Arms all the way, and it will pop out. So no and one, but 2 shots for Adonis Arms. Let's take another look at that last attempt from Trey King. Oh no, pardon me. Hoping to get another look at it, not so much. Arms will go to the free throw line now for the Surge. 14 points on the game. Calgary need to see a couple go in the basket here.
Yeah, they, like I said, when you're playing from behind almost the entire game, it can get really exhausting when you don't reclaim that lead at all, and you can kind of, you burn out by the end, and I think that might be how they're feeling a little bit right now. They had that run, that momentum. They got really close, but weren't able to reclaim the lead. And it's a tough thing to do for an entire game. That's one of the reasons why the keys to the game for the Stingers for me was to punch first, because when you aren't coming from a deficit the entire time, it's a lot easier to play with confidence and energy.
Hornsby short. Carey gets the rebound. Brown sets the screen, carries past to Patterson. He's had the hot hand lately for the Surge. 18 points on the game, and he was fouled there, much to the shock and disbelief of Davis Jr.
I'm not sure about that one.
I've never seen Baz's eyes go that wide before. He couldn't believe it.
The amount of contact that's been let go the entire game, that one surprises me a bit, if I'm honest.
First one goes for Patterson. Patterson gets them both. He's up to 20 in the game. Surge need 10 to win it. Stingers just 4 away. Davis Jr. screen from King. Now he rolls to the rim. They go back to Nuga instead. Almost over and back. Nuga will drive, flip one up high. That's defended. Nuga gets it right back, and he will go. Next bucket will win it for Edmonton. Patterson. In for Brown, able to hold tightly and slam it in. We're going to get a timeout here by the Stingers, as I'm pretty sure head coach Jordan Baker would like to draw something up for this final bucket.
Scheme it up like he likes to, for sure. Give him a bit more control over this last possession. Give them a good opportunity to finish this game out. Like that one, a little bit lucky that ended right back in Nuga's hands to be able to put that back up. So, want to make sure that they get a really high quality shot on this last one.
Scotty Lindsay come back in maybe to get that 1,000th point as a game winner. Wouldn't that be fun? I don't think he'll come back, but who knows?
Yeah, it looks like he's not sitting down, so I can't imagine. It would be nice though, stretch out the offense a little, or stretch out the defense a little bit with a three-point shooting threat out there, but it's not looking like it.
93-87. Just feels like, as you said in your keys to the game, you nailed it perfectly, was punch first. Edmonton did just that, and they've held that lead the whole time.
Yeah. And I think not only because it's just in favor of whoever it is that decides to dictate the game early, but because Calgary is such a new team, if you get on top early, it's a lot harder for them to figure it out because they don't know each other very well. You know, if you have that chemistry, you have that connection and that trust that's been built, you can rely on one another. You have the confidence in your ability to fight back. But because Calgary is so new, they don't quite have that yet. So it's that much more important.
So here we go. The Stingers one bucket away from a third straight victory. Davis Jr. won it on Sunday. Wins it again today. Big smile on his face, and he'll send the home crowd home happy on a Canada Day, 95-87.
Again, one of those ones that better go in if you're going to take that shot, because I don't think that's what was drawn up to take that. But, I mean, he's got the confidence to be able to do that. He's finished out a couple games now. It's one of those ones that's really tough to say anything about it because it went in and it finished the game, so good for him.
18 points to finish the game for Baz Davis Jr. A great effort from him. And the Stingers, they are improved to 6-7 on the season after their third straight win. Is it a team maybe that's starting to, as you mentioned, they found their chemistry? Are they coming together now?
Yeah, and I think that it's kind of how the Stingers operate. I feel like every season I have the same conversation. It's just the way that they play, it's very team. It's move the ball, share the ball. They run a lot of sets where it's crossing the midline. There's not a whole lot of one-on-one or ISO basketball, and that takes time. They're pros, and they got to be able to figure it out, but it does take a little bit of time to fit into the system, to get to know your teammates, and again, like recognize whose strengths are where and getting them those shots. So it's something that I think is just a consistent theme under the guide of Jordan Baker and his coaching staff.
Meanwhile, the Surge dropped to 1-12, Kira. They're just still trying to find their footing and trying to find some group that works.
Yeah, it's a tough start for them, and because they went so long without getting their first win and had that coaching change, and now they've got all these new faces. It's like they're starting over again from May, where everybody else kind of has gotten past that initial hump. Calgary is kind of just revisiting that now, unfortunately, in the middle of the season.
Right. Let's go today's game winner. Once again, second straight victory for Baz Davis Jr. that he's finished off. Sarah.
Thank you, Grayson. That's right. Second target time winner. How does it feel?
But God. But God. That's it. That's all I can say. But God.
You had a bit of a rivalry there. I think it was in the third quarter with Patterson. You guys exchanging buckets back and forth. Talk to me about that rivalry through your game.
That's called a healthy competition. We supposed to compete. If we not compete, we not having fun. If we not having fun, why we playing the game? Basketball is a game.
The Stingers now stringing together a couple of wins here. Talk to me about the chemistry and the first bucket,
Yeah.
the bench erupted.
Yeah.
Talk to me about how the team is gelling.
We encourage each other a lot. We know who's in the gym with us. It's only us at the time. So we work hard, we do what we need to do, and we stick together.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on the win, Buzz, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Back to Grayson and Kira.
Thanks so much, Sarah. Good stuff. Baz Davis Jr. only heard a couple of interviews from him lately, but he's a very personable, very character guy, and is having a lot of fun here with the Stingers, and now he's taking pictures with some of the fans. Let's take a quick break before we come back to wrap things up. You are watching CEBL Basketball live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus. Back to Edmonton to wrap in just a moment. Back in Edmonton, the next broadcast for the CEBL, it's a Lotto Max Eastern Conference Thursday night showcase between the Ottawa Blackjacks and Brampton Honey Badgers in what could certainly be a playoff preview. It would definitely be an important game in the Eastern Conference standings. Tip at 7:30 Eastern, 5:30 Mountain from the CAA Center in the Flower City. And of course, you can catch the action on CBC Gem YouTube and CEBL Plus. As we're back inside the Expo Center, Grayson Knutz and Kira Lyons here. Kira, a great win for the Stingers, 3 wins in a row. We've talked about it a little bit, but the momentum, beg your pardon, is certainly starting to build for this Edmonton squad.
Yeah, it's nice to see their chemistry, their rhythm, really, especially on the offensive end. Like, I feel like they just are really starting to understand where their strengths are. Aside from turning the ball over a ton in that second half and giving the Surge an opportunity to get back into that game, there was a lot of confidence, a lot of aggression, and you can tell that they're really gelling now. And I think those 2 wins in Saskatoon, or against Saskatoon, sorry, just it was reinforcing that what they were doing was working. When you're losing and it's not working, it's hard to have that confidence in, you know, and that buy-in. But I think having 3 in a row now is like, all right, we're figuring it out. Again, the brand of the Stingers basketball is it takes a little bit of time to build, and they're starting to see, you know, the fruits of their labor a little bit right now.
So as we mentioned, Calgary Surge will play Saskatoon in Whitehorse on Friday. The Stingers are in Vancouver. They will play the Bandits on Friday, and our next broadcast is on Thursday between Brampton and Ottawa. That wraps up our coverage from here in Edmonton at the Expo Center. Another win for the Stingers. It's their 3rd in a row. 95-87 is the final score. They are 6-7 on the year. Calgary falls to 1-12. A big thank you to our whole crew, Drayson and Zach, Sarah Ryan, Kira Lyons. My name is Grayson Knudsen. Mason helping us out as well. You've been watching CEBL Basketball on CBCGM YouTube and CEBL Plus. Until we speak with you again, so long, take care, and good night from Edmonton.
Knock him out the run, knock him out the run, knock him out the run with the head top, time for some action.